Welcome to the David Review Show. Once again, for the power of the internet. How are you today? Welcome to your show. I'm sorry I haven't been recording for a while. It's been a long time. Sorry I haven't been on lately. It's just been a long week. Had a long week. It's been very busy. Went on a bike ride in Boston on Monday. Spent some time with Ashley and Jason on Sunday. I had a lot of fun with Ashley and Jason. I love Ashley and Jason. They're great people. I love you guys very much. I really love spending time with Ashley and Jason. You know, we went swimming, and then I went over to Jason's house, had a good time with him. And then me and Ashley and Jason had breakfast on Monday, and then I went on a bike ride in Boston. Beautiful out there, guys. If you guys ever had a chance to ride in Boston, awesome place to ride. If I recommend anybody that want to do a bike ride, go to Boston. It's a great place to bike ride. Really awesome out there. That's where I had my Special Olympics, track and field. I lost a little weight, lost a couple of pounds. I know Ashley and Jason will be very proud of me. Lost a lot of weight that week. Excuse me. I went on the wrong bagpipe there. Lost a lot of weight that week. A couple of pounds. Today, I thought we would talk a little bit about WWE. We would talk about WWE, but Vince McMahon. The rise and fall of Vince is going to be a two-part video. This is going to be a two-part video. Vince McMahon. The rise and fall of Vince McMahon. I'm glad he's gone. He's a pervert. He deserves to be locked up in my point of view. Vince McMahon. Well, Vince McMahon. I don't like Vince McMahon at all. I used to when I was young. Vince McMahon deserves to be locked up. WWE was not doing good when Vince was in Gorilla. When Vince was being in charge of creative. He can't write scripts. He's got Alzheimer's. He can't even do a script right. With Vince McMahon gone, WWE has done a lot better. Triple H has grown the company. Triple H has made the company better. Monday Night Raw has been tremendous. SmackDown's gotten better. The Bloodline is getting better. The shows have gotten a lot better. The Wyatt Six is amazing. Monday Night Raw is getting more entertainment than it ever is. They're selling out more arenas than they ever did when Vince was in charge. And their ratings are higher. And NXT is better than it's ever been. So I don't care what anybody says. People say Vince was good. Vince was good when he was young. The Attitude Era. That's when Vince was good. Now Vince raped someone, okay? That's what he did. And TKO did the right thing by firing him. Okay? They did the right thing. What do you expect WWE to do? Have that man ruined his father's legacy. Ruined the McMahon name. That's what he did. That's what he did. His father gave him a position, and he ruined it. That's what he did. That's what this video is about. The rise and fall of Vince. Now, Vince, let's put it this way. He was a billionaire. Let's put it that way. But he ruined his father's legacy. WrestleMania. All those WrestleManias. All those things that Vince built. He did that. He took down WCW. He took down a lot of territories. Vince did that. The AWA. All those places. He took Hulk Hogan. He took all those territories. Vince did that. Vince was a genius until he did all those things with Ashley and Monet and all those other things with that other girl and everything else that was sent came out when social media was big. When before social media wasn't even big, Vince Vince beat the national government. He couldn't beat this because social media buried him. A lot of wrestlers knew about the steroids. A lot of wrestlers knew about Benoit. A lot of wrestlers knew about Ashley. You can't deny it. Vince McMahon did a lot of things behind the scenes that no one knew about. And eventually it caught up with him. And it did. Benoit's death caught up with him. Ashley's death caught up. She committed suicide because of him. And Ray Wyatt? I don't know. I don't know if he ruined Ray Wyatt's career. There's a lot of stuff about Ray Wyatt that came out in the documentary. But I still think Vince ruined Ray Wyatt's career. Now we're going to get into it. Now Vince McMahon, he was young. Okay? His father was in charge of WWE. What? Maxie, you have to get off the table. I'm doing a video, honey. Come on, down. Now Vince McMahon was young. And this was back in the 70s when my dad was around. Bruno Sammartino, Killer Kowalski. You guys don't know these guys. Gorilla Monsoon, Haystacks Calhoun, all the old timers. Classy Freddie Glassy, all that. Vince was in the 70s. This is when his father was alive. So Vince was in his father's office. His father said, I need an announcer. You. And Vince said, I never did that before. Well, you go out and you do the announcing. Vince said, okay, I mean, I never did that, Dad. Like, I never did the announcing. So he said, you go out there and you go announce the wrestling. You go out. You do it. You do it. So Vince went out. Vince started to announce. And something inside Vince came out that night. Vince was an amazing announcer. I'll give that to him. He could announce a match. He could announce a match like nothing. He became a great announcer. He announced a lot of Bruno's matches, Pedro Morales, Gorilla Monsoon. I'm going to tell you a story my dad told me. Now back then, my dad used to go to the old Boston Garden with his grandfather, my grandfather, and my Auntie Noreen's husband, Joe. God rest all their souls. But back then, you used to go to the Boston Garden before they tore it down. So my father did meet Vince McMahon. Now, this is when Vince was young. Now, this is when Vince was very, very young, back in the 70s. This is a true story. My father actually met him. My dad and and his brother-in-law and his sister and my grandfather snuck in the press box. You weren't supposed to be up there, but they were up there. Because that's where the press box seats. You can't sit there. So, who comes? Vince McMahon. And Dad said, that's it. We're done. We're going to get thrown out by Vince McMahon. Vince said, come with me. So Dad said, that's it. We're out of here. So they take the elevator down. There was Stephanie. Now, she was a little girl then. She was eating an ice cream cone on Andre's knee. Andre the Giant. And he was a big guy. Andre was big back then. And Dad saw Andre. Dad's like, are you Andre? I'm Andre. Andre was like huge. And Stephanie was on his knee licking an ice cream cone. She was little then. Vince said, down. So he took him out to the front. And he said, sit here. And he liked my grandfather. He said, everything that you buy is on me. Vince, the popcorn was free. The soda was free. Everything my father wanted, Coke, popcorn, everything. Now, this is a true story. My father did not lie. Popcorn, everything on Vince McMahon. He liked my grandfather. He kneeled down beside my grandfather, Pat. He said, Pat, what do you like about the wrestling? And Pat goes, the midgets. Because back then they had the midget wrestling. And he goes, the midgets. Really, Pat? Now, this is when Vince was young. Now, Vince was young. He had a dark hair then. He goes, you like the midgets? You like Sky Low and all them? And he goes, yeah. My grandfather loved the midgets. And that's why my father liked Vince. Because my grandfather was really sick then. And my father remembered what Vince McMahon did. He talked to my grandfather. He kneeled down beside my grandfather. He went on one knee and talked to my grandfather. My dad never forgot that. Now, I can say that was a good thing that Vince did for my grandfather, and I'll never forget that. Thank you, Vince. But I can't condone what he did, Dad. Even though my dad's gone now. God rest his soul. He passed away last year. But I can't condone what Vince did. I can't, Dad. I know Vince was good to Grandpa. I know he was nice to Grandpa. But that's when Vince was young. That was back in the 70s. I don't even know how Vince... I don't even think Vince will remember that. You know, I guess Vince did something nice for my grandfather. Maybe he liked my grandfather. I don't know. But my dad wasn't lying. He meant Vince McMahon when he was young. That was a good story. But back to what I was saying. Vince was a commentator. Now, Vince did a lot of things when he was young. He was great when he was young. You know, there was a wrestling territory called AWA. I think that's what it was called. Ran by, I forget the guy's name. And they had Hulk Hogan. And they had a lot of superstars. Ric Flair, Hogan, all of them. Now, Vince McMahon, his father was getting sick, and he took over WWE. Vince, it was getting into the 80s now. Now the 80s were coming. Now, Vince wanted a superstar. He had Bob Backlund, the Iron Sheik, Andre the Giant, Sergeant Slaughter, all the greats. But he had to have someone that would revolutionize America. He needed, from Venice Beach, California, Hulk Hogan. Now, Hulk Hogan was in AEW at the time that Vince wanted him. Now, Hulk Hogan was a bad guy when he first started in WWE. Now, Vince talked to Vern Gagne. That was who owned it in AEW. He talked to Vern Gagne. And he said, look, I want Hulk Hogan. He had Bret the Hitman Hart. He had Jim the Anvil Knight. He got them after, excuse me. He wanted Hogan. He said, I want Hulk Hogan. Vern Gagne said, no way. You're not getting Hulk. He said, look, I want Hogan. So he took Hogan from Vern. Vern said, okay, you can have Hulk. He took Hulk. He told Vern Gagne, Hulk was in the car. He said, I don't negotiate. Vern Gagne lost Hogan. And what happened? You know the story. Hulk Hogan comes into WWE. Now he's with Classy Freddie Glassy. That was his manager when he first started. Now the first time, my dad went to Boston Garden. The first time he saw Andre, he ran away. I mean, he didn't know who Andre the Giant was. Hogan was posing like this, like he did in the Rocky movie when he was Thunderlips. He saw Andre. He said, fuck, screw this, I'm out of here. He left the ring. He ran away. He didn't want to fight Andre. He said, nope, I'm not fighting him. No way. He saw how big Andre was. He took off, so Pat Patterson fought Andre. Hogan said, screw this, I'm out of here. So Hulk left, but Hulk fought him after a while, and, you know, they had some great matches. But Hogan was a bad guy when he first started. We all know. He was with Classy Freddie Glassy. But then Hogan fought the Iron Sheik. Iron Sheik beat Bob Backlund. Hogan beat the Iron Sheik and became the champion. Now, that's where the 80s came in. Hulk Hogan was the revolutionary of the 80s. Saturday Night's Main Event, WrestleMania, all those things. Hulk Hogan started the 80s. And Hulk Hogan was big. Now, Vince McMahon needed Hogan to start that spark. Hogan started that. He started the whole thing with Vince. Vince had Bret the Hitman Hart, Hulk Hogan, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, Jake the Snake Roberts, Ravishing Rick Rude, Big Boss Man, Macho Man Randy Savage, Miss Elizabeth. All those superstars started the 80s revolution. The Intercontinental Championship, the Honky Tonk Man. You name it, he had the superstars that he needed. WrestleMania, the first ever WrestleMania, Madison Square Garden. Roddy Piper, Hulk Hogan, and Mr. T. And Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff, and Roddy Piper. Everybody remembers Roddy. I loved Roddy Piper. I loved Roddy. He was great. He was great in the ring. Vince made Roddy really good. Roddy had an image that I could never forget. Roddy was better as a bad guy. I liked Roddy as a bad guy. I liked him as a heel. He wasn't really that great as a good guy. I didn't like him as a good guy. He was just very shabby. But as a heel, Roddy could fight, man. He took you. He would his persona as a heel, man. Roddy, man, he could fight. Piper could fight. I think Piper was a boxer. I don't know. But Roddy could fight. Roddy would fight you. He was good as a heel, man. Piper's Pits. That Vince created all that. Piper's Pits. Piper could fight. That's what I liked about Roddy. Roddy could fight you in every single form that Vince did. Vince created that. Now, this is when Vince was young. We'll get to Vince older later on. But Piper could fight. And Vince created Piper's Pit and all that. And Roddy, Roddy liked to fight and all that stuff. Piper's Pit and all that thing. That was all Vince's idea. Roddy, in the first ever WrestleMania was born. And then WrestleMania 2 came along. And now we get into Andre and Hulk. Andre. Vince loved Andre. Andre was someone who Vince really, really liked a lot. Everybody loved Andre. I mean, even me, when I was little, I loved Andre. Andre the Giant. I mean, one of the biggest guys in wrestling history. Undefeated for 18 years. Imagine that. And Hulk finally beat him. WrestleMania 3 came around. Andre was sick. Andre was very, very sick. And Vince said, Andre, you have giantitis. Andre said, I'm doing it. I'm fighting Hulk. Andre was supposed to win the belt that night. Vince said, he went to Hulk. Andre went to Hulk. He said, Hulk, beat me for the belt. Hulk said, I can't do that. I'm supposed to drop the title to you tonight, Andre. Nope. Boss man says you win. Andre was a professional. Vince told Hulk, you beat Andre. He was undefeated for 18 years. But Vince told Hulk, either you beat him, you have to beat him. He's too sick. So Andre told Hulk, body slam me, do the leg drop, and beat me. Andre was supposed to win the title. Andre was supposed to win the title that night. Win this from Hulk. I think that's the way it was supposed to go originally. But Andre was sick. Vince was going to let Andre win. But it didn't happen. So Vince said, look, Hulk, you retain. So Hulk retained. Hulk body slammed him, gave him the leg drop. Andre was very, very sick. Andre was getting worse. His legs were starting to swell up. His whole body was starting to get worse. And Vince said, look, your doctors are telling me you can't wrestle. I'm wrestling. You can't tell me what to do. He said, Andre, I'm doing what I can as your boss, and I'm telling you, you're not wrestling. Vince told him that. He said, Vince, I'm doing what I want to do. You can't stop me. Andre was a drinker. He drank a lot of wine. He was a very, very, very intimidating guy. He said, Vince, you can't tell me what to do. You can't. So Vince said, okay, Andre, have it your way. Andre drank more wine, and Andre got sicker and sicker and sicker. The doctor said his legs are going, Vince. There's nothing we can do. Vince said, Andre, you're not wrestling anymore. That's it. I've had it. You're done. Andre got worse. His legs were starting to fail him. And Andre, his legs were swollen. And Andre, to me, had somewhat of a problem. And he came out at SummerSlam 91. His whole legs were swollen. And Vince knew that. And Vince said, Andre, we can't do this anymore with you. You're gonna have to stop. He said, I'm getting better. He was on crutches. He couldn't even walk. He said, Vince said, look at you. You're on crutches. Your legs are swollen. Your body is decrepit. Andre, I can't have you wrestle. Boss man, put me in the ring. He said, Andre, no. Vince said no. I had to agree with Vince on that because Vince did the right thing. He said no. Andre went back to France. He ran a bar, I think, and in Monday Night Raw of 1993, Andre died of giantitis. I heard about it. My mom told me, and I was at a residential at the time because I was having problems. And my mom called me and said, David, I have some bad news. And I'm like, what, Mom? Andre died. And my throat was like, what? Andre? And I knew Andre. Because my dad always talked about Andre, and everything. And I kind of melted down and said, oh my God, Andre, And I loved Andre. And I knew who he was. It was very tragic, Monday Night Raw came. So the 90s were pretty good. The Ultimate Warrior came in, and this is where the steroid epidemic came in with Hulk Hogan. Now, Vince McMahon is an idiot. He's such a perv. Vince McMahon, I hate him. I can't stand the guy. I'm sorry, Dad. Forgive me. Vince McMahon had the Ultimate Warrior, okay? The Warrior was on steroids. Vince said Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan never took freaking steroids. Hogan worked out. Hogan lifted weights, okay? Hogan never took freaking steroids. I don't care what anybody freaking says. Hogan never took steroids. Hogan was dragged into the court just like the Ultimate Warrior. Now, the Ultimate Warrior was on steroids. The Ultimate Warrior was on steroids. He was definitely on steroids. The Warrior was on steroids. That's why the Warrior died of a heart attack, because he was on steroids. You can't tell me the Ultimate Warrior wasn't on... I saw Warrior's veins. Warrior was on steroids. Nobody can deny that. The Ultimate Warrior was on steroids. I mean, the Ultimate Warrior had veins. I mean, he had these veins coming out of him like this. The Warrior was definitely on steroids. Water, babe. But, love you, babe. But, the Ultimate Warrior came out, Vince came out and said that Hulk Hogan was doing it too. Hogan wasn't doing it. So Hogan took Vince to court. Vince was pissed. Now I'm talking about pissed. Now this was the time Monday Night Raw was coming to USA. Vince was pissed at Hogan for that. He said, Hulk, you're taking me to court? Hogan said, yeah, you're blaming me for taking steroids. Vince has fired the Ultimate Warrior and brought in that fake Warrior. So Vince just said, hey, look, you're dragging me to court? Yeah. Okay, fine. Vince just brought Monday Night Raw in. So, Vince McMahon was pissed at Hogan. So, Hogan brought Vince to court after WrestleMania 8. Hogan sued him. This was actually after WrestleMania 9. I think right after WrestleMania 9, he sued Vince. Vince said, you know what? You're fired. Get out of here. Vince fired him. Vince fired him. Get out of here. You're not, I don't want you anymore. So we got rid of Hogan. That's where Brett came in. So Vince McMahon kept Monday Night Raw going. So Vince thought of something. Ric Flair was there. Bret the Hitman Hart was there. Vince needed a champion. He had the Intercontinental title with Shawn Michaels. He had a tag team championships with the IRS and DiBiase. But he lost Hogan. And Yokozuna was the... And Yokozuna. Okay, I need a champion. He had Ric Flair. Who could be the World Wrestling Federation champion? Bret Hart. Montreal Screwjob. We'll get in that maybe the second video. So, who could I make a champion? Well, these assholes around here. No fucking respect. Excuse my language, everybody. So, who could I make champion? Well, Bret Hart. Bret Hart. So, Bret Hart beat Ric Flair and got this. The World Wrestling Federation title. Sorry, guys. Put it back up. The World Wrestling Federation title. Sorry, Jason. I want you to see that. Jason likes this. He likes the blue and red. There we go. And so Bret won the World Wrestling Federation title from Ric Flair. He beat him in 92. And then him and Shawn Michaels had a great match. Survivor Series 9-2. One of the best matches I ever seen between him and Shawn Michaels. And it was called by Heenan and Monsoon. Great match. If you ever want to see it, it's on the W Network. Very good match. Very, very good match. I recommend anybody who ever wants to see a Survivor Series match. That would be a good one. Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. Very good match. And champion versus champion. But I'll tell you, it was a good match for the world belt. It was. Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart matches were great. So Vince McMahon put those two together. So Vince wanted an era of fast guys like Shawn and Bret. Not the era of Hulk Hogan and Yokozuna and all the big guys that he had. He had an era of quick guys now. He had Bret and Shawn who could make the matches a little bit better. He got that era. So Bret was his champion. Then WCW came around. The Monday Night Wars. We're going to get into it. Eric Bischoff was a young guy. Of course he was. Who else wouldn't be? And Vince McMahon had Monday Night Raw on USA. Ted Turner had WCW. Why the hell not, right? So Ted Turner said, let's shove it up a notch here, you know? Ted Turner thought, well, how about we put, because Ted Turner had Hulk Hogan. He took Hulk Hogan. And Vince was pissed when Hogan went on WCW TV. Vince was pissed. So Hogan was on WCW and he was their champion at that time. So Ted Turner said, hey, let's put it up a notch. Let's put Nitro on. Now Nitro was going to be the same time slot as Monday Night Raw. There it is. Right there. Monday Night Wars. You guys remember this. Monday Nitro and Monday Night Raw. So Ted Turner said, okay, let's do it. Let's put it in the same time slot as Raw. So they did that. It's okay, honey. You ate already. So they put it in the same time slot as Monday Night Raw. Excuse me for a minute. I gotta feed the cat. Give me 1 minute, guys. She's she's hungry. Maxie, you're eating too much, honey. You know, you're gonna get sick. Baby girl. You know, mommy's gonna blame me. I don't want her to. But you gotta stop eating a lot, honey. Right here, come here. Come here. Here. That's all you're getting. You're eating too much. You get a belly. You know, the vet's going to be mad at me. We fed you earlier, now you're hungry again. You're going to get big, baby girl. You don't want to get big. The vet's going to get mad. You're going to get sick. My cat, she eats a lot. You got to stop eating, baby girl. Anyways, back to the video. So it was the same time slot as Raw. So Ted Turner said, let's put it at the new mall, make it the mall. So they did it. They put Monday Night Raw on, and Vince got really angry. Because Lex Luger left. And he showed up on Monday Nitro. So Monday Nitro was in the same time slot as Raw. And Vince was angry. Now that's where we're going to end it. We'll start with the Monday Night War. Now there's going to be 2 parts to this. There's going to be tomorrow we'll start with the Monday Night Raw War. And then maybe there might be 3. I don't know. We'll see how these videos go. I hope you enjoyed this. I just want to end the video real quick. We're going to take the belts down. I just want to say, I hope you guys are enjoying the channel. I hope you're enjoying what I do. Hope you're enjoying what I do for content. Me and JD had a falling out. I'm not prescribed to JD anymore. I can't really say why, JD's a great podcaster. I like him a lot. It's just that I cannot watch his channel anymore. He insults a lot of the fans, and including me and you guys. So I don't watch JD anymore, but I do watch other people. But I'm sorry I left JD, but I still have respect for JD and what he does for his craft. But I hope you guys enjoy this channel. I hope you enjoy what I do. You know, I'm going to continue doing Raw and SmackDown for you, and I will bring you another video about Vince. So I hope you enjoyed this segment. We will continue next time with the Raw Monday Night Raw Wars, and then we'll continue with Vince's legacy and how he fell and everything. And you know, I hope you guys are enjoying these videos and the reviews I'm doing. So like, subscribe, comment, smash the like if you like this video, and subscribe if you like the channel. And I'd like to thank the new subscriber for coming. I have now 37. Thank you for enjoying the channel, and I will see you guys next time for part 2 of Vince. Like, subscribe, comment, and don't forget, put Jesus first. Bye for now. Love you, babe. Bye for now. And don't forget, support Special Olympics. Bye for now.